What is good, YouTube? It's your boy, and today we are going to talk about money. The reason I want to talk about money is because I feel a disconnect between my community and I. Our YouTube channel has just hit over 1 million views, and it has been the most unfulfilling achievement of my lifetime. I feel as though that 1 million views was not deserved. As I have played many games and built many communities, very few of those communities still stand. Even though I still have various friends from the games that I played, there are a lot of people who stopped watching after I stopped playing certain games. So, my goal is to release more personal or real life information, more relevant information, so that I can build a community that's not just revolved around gaming, but just revolved around positivity, regardless of what we're doing. Okay, whether we're gaming, whether we're talking about money, whether we're talking about our dreams, our goals, whatever. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with explaining who I am, where I come from, and then we're gonna talk about money. So currently, I am recording this video from San Francisco, California. I am 25 years old and I make over 6 figures. How did I get to this point? Before I tell you that, I want to tell you where I come from. I'm not going to go through my whole childhood. I'm just going to skip through very quickly and touch on the important details. When I was 2, I moved from Chicago, where I was born, to California. And I was raised in Sacramento, in a very, very, very nice neighborhood, up until gang violence caused by my older brother caused my mom to have a mental breakdown, and she moved our family to Tennessee, racist, in which my life just kind of went to shit. Now, after several moves in Tennessee and instability, our house burnt down in Nunnally, Tennessee, and then we moved to Crown Point, Indiana. And from Crown Point, Indiana, living with my mom's brother, my uncle, for a couple of months, she finally got an apartment. And then after a few years of living in that apartment, we moved to a home on 61st, which, if you know Maryville, Indiana, you'll know that Maryville stops on block 49. Maryville is the suburban hood. Gary, Indiana is murder capital. Gary, Indiana is where they send the people who are too poor to afford to live in Chicago. And everyone who lives in Gary pretty much knows everyone who lives in Maryville. It's the same mentality, though it is slightly different atmosphere, right? But everyone knows each other, and everyone has the same broke mentality. Everyone has the same poor mentality, and no one wants to elevate. Everyone is I'm not gonna say everyone, but the majority of people that I knew from high school were snakes. They were not true friends, and I have very few friends from high school. Most of my bonds were built upon pain and hatred instead of love. I was raised my middle school and high school years were more survival than it was love. I started hustling, robbing, stealing, selling, weed, whatever I could, whatever I needed to do in order to afford clothing, so that I could look how I wanted to look, so that I could dress how I wanted to dress, and so that people just wouldn't really talk shit. I was very violent. If people did talk shit, people did step that line. There's various fights that I got into. But that wasn't my natural behavior. That was the depressed me. And I had to realize that. And sadly, I realized that while I was facing 16 years in jail. And how I got out of that charge was I was innocent in the first place. I was hanging with someone who wasn't really as focused as I was. I went on vacation from my job on Best Buy. And I was 18. And essentially, what happened is they found some drugs in his possession, but because it was my car, they took me. And because of how I was built, I didn't snitch. So I was facing 16 years, and I fought that case for 9 months before they let me out on a misdemeanor for marijuana. In California, in the United States, I'm gonna say the United States, the maximum on a misdemeanor for marijuana is 6 months, and I served 9 months. Okay, that is my background, and that is when I started to realize I needed to change my life drastically. So when I got out, there was a couple of months where I had a girlfriend or whatever, and she was driving me places, and I was still making videos, but it got to a point where I still realized I hadn't had enough change in my life. This video I actually made in my mom's basement. You can see right here, it's not even like, it's not even furnished, dude. That wall is made out of cardboard, like styrofoam, whatever the fuck you call that, the styrofoam type cardboard. You know what I'm talking about, dude. And it's just like a dresser, and to the right of me is a sheet, and that was my room. That was my room in my mom's basement, and it was largely due to my environment. My environment was very negative, and it was very hard for me to see positivity within that negative environment. I had very few positive connections, actually almost zero. So what I did was I started making lucid dreaming videos and started looking into spirituality. And you can still go back in my channel and see some of these videos today. Now, I'm gonna get to the point very quickly here, you guys. I don't want to talk too much about my past, but I just want you to have a basic idea of who I am, where I've come from, so that there is never an excuse for anyone who thinks that they can't elevate out of their situation. There is never an excuse. So, fast forwarding to the part where my life started changing. I started looking at my dreams, I started looking at myself, and I started realizing things about who I am. And with $200 in my pocket, I woke up one day and I said, I'm just gonna move. And I moved to Texas. And within 48 hours, I had 2 jobs. And there was a lot of struggle, even with that move. There was a lot of pressure. But fast forwarding again, the one thing that my father, the only thing that he ever did for me, which was the most important thing, he told me, follow what you love. And what I loved, what I always did, was gaming and technology. I built my first computer at 9 years old, specifically because I wanted to play the game. This is actually the first YouTube channel I ever made. And this is the first YouTube video I ever made 11 years ago. I am currently 25. I built that computer over there as well. And it has been something that has stayed with me my whole life. So after I started following what it is that I love, peace and prosperity started to also come in piece by piece. My first job in technology was working at Cinemax Online Studios. I was actually working at iEnergizer. We were contractors for ZOS, and I was supporting Elder Scrolls Online, and then I also switched to the Guild Wars 2. That was my breakthrough in the technology industry. And I also got a job working for Dell shortly after this. And this is where my career started to spiral. I actually still have some of my old IDs. I just found this, my Dell Alienware. This was one of my subcontractor jobs before I got with the Dell Federal Desk. And then this was my old Intel contracting badge. And this is my current cruise automation badge. I went from help desk to federal help desk to critical incident management at Blue Cross Blue Shield, and various jobs in between there. And some of this stuff is documented. The last thing that I know for sure that I documented was me quitting my job working for the state of South Carolina and moving to San Diego. And this is again part of my journey. And when I got to San Diego, I realized there was still a lot of change that I needed to do within myself. I didn't move for anybody else but myself. I realized that I needed to change. Fast forwarding again to present. I recently quit my job working for Intel as a server engineer, and I am now currently employed at Cruise Automation, artificial intelligence department, working as an IT administrator, working on Mac OS, Linux OS, Ubuntu, and Windows OS, supporting various engineers and technicians. That is my current life, and that is how I make a lot of my income. Now, the rest of my income comes from mostly trading. Now, I started trading stocks this year, but I was able to turn a $500 account into a $2,000 account and pay rent for a couple months while I transitioned from Intel into Cruise Automation job. I was able to take a vacation, put myself in vacation, and do more introspection on myself and the direction of my life, and while also attending school. So, recapping, working at Cruise Automation, trading stocks, residual income from YouTube, which I barely count that because it's so insubstantial compared to what I make from technology. I will also build and sell computers on the side through commissions, through people I know, through Facebook Marketplace, through Fiverr, whatever. And I also get money through Twitch when I am actively streaming. People are typically very generous, and I appreciate you guys for that. Much love, you guys. So that is where I work. That is where I'm making most of my money. And like I said, the majority of my income that is spent is only spent on bills. I am living like very, very far below my means because 6 figures in San Francisco is not a lot. Okay, 6 figures is a good amount for most of America, but San Francisco is one of the most expensive cities in America. So for me, this is just a start. And I say that a lot. This is just a start for me. Okay. But I am releasing this information to you to let you know that if someone who came from nothing can do it, then 100% you can do it as well. Right? That is where the connection lies. Multiplying your assets, I multiply my assets, and I work, and my resume is immaculate. For anyone who wants to add me on LinkedIn, I will add that to the description of this video. I have a lot of connections on LinkedIn, and I feel as though that is a very, very good network for those of you that want to start in IT. And in the future, I will do more videos if this is received well on how to get into IT, and I will go into more details and specifics of exactly step by step if it is something that you guys want to hear. Okay, but just to outline my future for you guys, I'm currently attending SNHU for my bachelor's in software production. I currently have an LLC for a company I started, Phoenicia Software LLC, in which I will use to create my first RPG game. This is a long-term project. Bear with me, you guys. I'm currently working on wealth management, and hopefully I will incorporate wealth management videos into this channel, and I will also hopefully start moving into tech tutorials. Okay, you guys? So that is my story. That is my background. I thank you guys for watching. I think it has been a wonderful video. Appreciate it. Peace and love you guys. Any questions? Drop them in the comment section below.